Come on, go stupid. Tap.
Hey, Froy. Froy. Hey, Froy. Hey, Froy. Froy.
Okay, did you take the long rubber thingy with the metal prongs and plug it into that thing with the holes in the wall? That thingamajig? Yes, okay, that was your problem. Okay, yes, I'll bring milk home. Okay, love you too, Mom.
Hey, Froy, what does the squaring mean?
Hang on. Tech account support, please hold. What word was it?
The squaring.
I think that's a place where they used to hide slaves.
Hello, my name is James Chapman. I'm here to tell you about the history of the Otkin House. For more than 300 years, people were enslaved in this country. It has always been the belief that slavery was just in the southern state. However, slavery existed in all the states up to the late 1700s. In fact, Michigan slavery was abolished in the 1790s. The Otkin House is said to have been a safe house for the Underground Railroad, and many slaves came through it. This house was built in 1858 on 300 acres and completed in 1860. John Andrews' family bought the house for $11,000 in 1863. In here, room where Rosenet lived. A sitway is between a quilt room and the bedroom of Helen Andrews. The room where the twins live contains 2 cribs. You see the 1900 silo and the outhouse from the watchtower. The watchtower was used so when slaves saw slave catchers coming, they could hide. It was valuable because you could see a slave catcher a mile away, and when the family members saw a slave catcher, they could hide all the slaves in the attic. As you walking down these old stairs, you can see the attic. The second landing is actually the second floor. The attic was where slaves were kept. This is where slaves were kept. There are 4 rooms. The middle and center room is where all the foods for the slavery were stored. The left room was where all the mothers and children stayed. The right room was where all the men stayed. As you walk through these rooms, you can see land from all 8 angles that represent the Otkin House. This is James Chapman saying goodbye.
That's what squaring means.
That doesn't sound right.
Pretty sure it is. Why don't I ask Mr. Bear? What do you think, Mr. Bear? I think you should call your mom and find out.
Don't call your mother.
Well, don't ask me then, ask that guy.
Hey, Rat, come here, please.
Yeah?
Help me figure out this word.
What word?
Desquarium.
Desquarium. Isn't a teacher organization?
My name is Kyle Dar. I'm here at Port Huron High School, home of the Big Reds. I'm here just taping Miss Pazzo for Channel 6 for my video project program.
I like most all aspects of teaching. I like interacting with the students. I like the success when a student is having trouble with a concept, and then I can help them figure it out, and all of a sudden the light goes on and they can work through the problem. I enjoy the hours. I also coach cheerleading and really enjoy just spending that extra time with the students as well. Where did I begin teaching at? I began teaching at Woodrow Wilson Elementary here in the Port Huron Area School District. I was teaching 3rd and 4th grade students in a resource room and really enjoyed that. And then the layoffs came in the district, and I was bumped up into the high school here at Port Huron, and have been here for the last 3 years and have really, really enjoyed it. Do I like working at Port Huron High School? I really enjoy working at Port Huron High School. I enjoy the high school level, excuse me, because the students, most of them know where they want to go after high school, and if they don't, then it's my opportunity to help them sort out what they want to do once they leave Port Huron High School. What college did I go to? I went to several, actually, but the ones I actually graduated from U of M. I got my master's out of U of M, and then went back to Saginaw Valley to get my cognitively impaired certification. The elementary certification with a special ed certification. I graduated from Yale High School. Go Bulldogs. My spare time, there isn't much spare time, but I do coach varsity cheerleaders, and I've been coaching cheerleading for the past 4 years, and I've really, really enjoyed that with the girls, and we have a competition on Saturday as our districts.
Mrs. Palazzolo's enthusiasm is truly unmatched. She's a complete champion for all students, and regardless of the task, I guess what I love most about her is that she always gives 110% of herself. Mrs. Palazzolo is working in our resource rooms, and she's been very proactive in finding jobs for students around the building. In fact, Kyle, I think you're a recipient of one of those jobs, working in the media center, and there have been a lot of students that have been placed there, and what a tremendous work ethic they're learning.
I want to say a special thanks to Miss Pazzo and Miss Barrett for letting me record them for my video project here at Channel 6. Thank you.
And that's why I feel I'd be a valuable member to this team. Sorry, we're not hiring right now.
That's what desquarium means.
What's going on here? Why isn't anyone working? I don't pay you guys to be a bunch of desquariums.
Exactly, what's that mean?
Desquarium? It's an old Kegler's term for a lazy bowler.
Hi, my name's Gabe Killian, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about bowling.
Bowling is a game in which players attempt to score points by rolling a bowling ball along a flat surface into objects called pins. The earliest form of bowling dates back to ancient Egypt at 5200 BC, where archaeologists found an Egyptian boy's tomb remnants of ancient bowling balls and pins. The first standardized rules, however, weren't established until September 9, 1895 in New York. Today, bowling is enjoyed by over 95 million people in more than 90 countries worldwide. Today, I'm going to talk about 10-pin bowling. The lanes for 10-pin bowling are 60 feet from foul line to head pin, which coincidentally is the same distance from pitcher's mound to home plate in baseball. Now, you figure that rolling a ball down a 60-foot lane wouldn't be hard, but the lane is lined with 2 gutters on both sides, which might deny you from knocking down all the pins, which, if all 10 pins are knocked down, is called a strike. 3 strikes equal a turkey. Now, if you don't knock all the pins down, you may still knock over the rest of the pins to collect a spare on your second roll. Now, the foul line mentioned earlier, you're not supposed to cross that, because if you cross that, your roll does not count and whatever pins are not counted into your score. Now, you're allowed 10 frames to knock down as many pins with 2 balls as possible. And if you score a strike or a spare on your 10th frame, you get 1 more ball to score another possible strike. Now, interesting, the rarest score in bowling to get is a 292, which consists of 11 strikes and a 2 count, meaning 2 pins knocked over on your last throw, which has only been accomplished 20 times. Bowling has changed a lot since its creation. For instance, in the 1950s to 60s, nearly all bowling balls had a hard rubber surface, but all the coatings applied to the wood lanes changed from a soft lacquer to a harder urethane in the early 1970s, thus the first plastic balls started becoming widely available. The weight of the balls range anywhere from 6 pounds to 20 and are many assorted colors and available at any bowling alley to use. They are composed of 2 finger holes and a third placed for the thumb. Pins generally weigh around 3 pounds and are arranged in a triangle formation. They have many different pins, from classic white to glow-in-the-dark to colored ones that may mean something special, such as if you knock that pin down, you can go to the front desk and collect a prize, but that's all based upon which alley you're at and their rules. But also, it's interesting that the height of a pin, which is 15 centimeters, is the exact same measurement as the circumference at the widest point of a pin. Now, you may ask yourself, why is it every time I go bowling, I have to wear such ridiculous looking shoes? The reason behind that is there's special leather soles on there and newer synthetic ones that allow the shoe to slide across the floor, but there is a rubber heel so that you do not fall or slip, and these don't leave scuff marks like your normal everyday street shoe would. And bowlers have been using these ever since back in the 1890s and even possibly before, when bowling was first started. You also may be asking yourself, what kind of age groups does bowling apply to? Bowling is a sport for all ages, young and old. It's a great family thing to do, and another great thing to just come out and everybody have fun and just play a sport together. Now, sometimes you may not be able to go on the lanes, and they ask you not to touch the lanes because there's a special coating that's a conditioner that is put on the lanes to protect it from the impact of the ball when the ball is thrown down there. It's also to protect it from the friction between the ball and the lanes. And with the progress in the machines to put the conditioner on the lanes, it's a lot easier than using the old-fashioned bug sprayers that they used to use to spray the oil onto there. The lanes that you see here are 45 years old, along with the machines that return the ball behind them. But the thing is that the lanes that you actually see are a newer synthetic surface that are put on top of their wooden ancestors beneath to help protect and ensure the quality of your bowling experience. Port Huron Lanes has never used pin boys before, but they were the people that would manually pick up the pins, put them in a setter, load the pin setter down, and return the ball back to the bowler, all for only 10 cents a game. Thank you for joining me and learning a little bit about bowling. I hope you developed some sort of interest for the sport, and have a nice day.
And that's that.
I still don't think that's right. And all my friends agree with me.
I'm gonna check up on the computer. Hello, it's Bob's Pizza. Sorry, wrong number.
Hello, I'm Brandon Smith, and today I will be telling you a little history on personal computers, and then I will show you how to build your own. But first off, the original plans for the first personal computer, which was called Simon, were published in 1950 by a man named Edmund Berkeley. And this idea was first described in his 1949 book called Giant Brains or Machines That Think. Personal computers did not start to become successfully mass-produced until around 1977, when Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak from Apple Computers created the Apple II. And then, in 1981, IBM created the first computer to be called a PC. And this label stuck to every other computer since, except for Apple products. Nowadays, computer technologies are outdated every few months or so, and if not progressively maintained, are basically worthless in 5 years. So now I will show you how a computer is built so you can build your own and save yourself some money. There are many pieces of hardware that are required in the building of a PC, and the others are optional but highly recommended. First, I'll start off with the essentials. The first item that is required to build your PC is a case. A computer case is the skin and skeleton of a PC. So to start off, remove the case cover and lay it on its side. The next essential component in line is the motherboard. It is the organ system of the computer. It is probably the most important piece of hardware because every other piece of hardware connects to it. It has plenty of slots for the essentials and extras. And due to this fact, it will be left outside the case until a few other components are placed on it. The next piece of hardware, which is to be placed on the motherboard, is of extreme importance. This is essentially the brain of the entire system. And the processor, or CPU as it's called, is quite easy to install. So all that must be done is you pull up the little lever on next to the socket into the unlocked position, and then place it on. Then simply pull the lever back down. There is another step in installing your CPU, and that is installing the fan and heatsink for it. CPUs tend to get extremely hot, especially modern day ones. Most newer heatsinks have clips on each side of them in which to secure them in place. The last few things to be placed on the board before it itself is installed are the memory modules, called RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. These are also very easy to install, but be sure that you are grounded, or just like with any computer equipment, or actually any electronic equipment, you need to be grounded because any static electricity can basically fry your components. Put them in the slots and actually make sure that the white plastic pieces, levers on the side there, are open all the way. And as you push them down, they'll snap into place all by themselves. That's when you know when your RAM is all the way in. Now, before the motherboard is placed and screwed inside the case, a power supply needs to be installed first. Some cases come with power supplies already installed, but most do not. When obtaining a power supply, you should make sure it has the proficient amount of wattage and is compatible with your motherboard. This will take a little time to install because it must be held in place until it is screwed into its chassis properly. Once the power supply is installed, the motherboard can be placed inside the case. There are holes. There should be holes on the wall of the case in which you must screw the motherboard in place. It is very important to be careful when lowering the motherboard into the case. A small nick on the motherboard can ruin the entire circuitry. The next item is not required to run your system, but it is highly recommended. If you plan on listening to any music on your computer, you're going to need one of these. It's a sound card. It's time to put in the video card. This is a pretty simple process. Pretty straightforward, as many things are when you're assembling your own PC. First, you need to figure out what expansion slot the video card uses. There are 3 kinds of slots that a video card can use, but only 2 are relevant to modern day computers. AGP, which the slot is usually brown, and PCI, which are normally white or tan. There may be metal plates covering the slots in the back of your case. These are easily removed. The last few things to install are the drives. The CD drive, the floppy drive, and the hard drive. These are installed the same way as you would install something on a steel rack. Basically, you just slide them in to the spot that you want and screw them in. Now that everything is installed, it's time to give them power. The largest wire on the power supply obviously will go to the motherboard, and the other wires are pretty self-explanatory. After you've finally plugged everything in, it's now time to put the side panel back on your case and plug her in. If everything was done correctly, then you should be seeing a BIOS screen. These are all the computer settings. It's best to leave these at default. The final step is to save and exit from your BIOS. And now you must install an operating system. If everything is well and your operating system runs correctly, then congratulations. You've just built your own PC. The main benefit of building your own PC as opposed to buying one already assembled are the lower costs. More often than not, it is much cheaper to buy your components all on their own. And plus, it assures you that you'll be getting exactly what you want. I hope this program has helped show you the benefits of building your own personal computer. Thank you and have a good day.
That was no help.
So did you find out... TechieCamp support. Mom, I told you to stop calling me at work. I don't even have a dog. Hold. So did you find out what the word was?
I don't know what it means.